Welcome race fans here to Hardee's National Series qualifying here at Daytona International Speedway. A 2.5 mile racetrack here. We have a bit of a new configuration at Daytona, with cars now able to go underneath that dotted yellow line in the backstretch here, but still in the front stretch, the yellow line is off limits here. But 58 entries come into this race, all looking for a shot at making the field. Granted, the top 30 in owners points are locked into the show, but for those that have paid attention, there are those that are in the Go or Go Home session, and the top 12 fastest cars are going to advance to the main event here. So let's cut to the chase here, and let's get to our first person that will be trying to qualify for the race. First car up here is Cody Llamas from Miami, Florida here. Lomas has not had the best career in the Sony Cup Series here, had a bit of a long tenure at Cyberjohn Motorsports, but to no success, now moving to the Mace Enterprise team on the Sony Cup side here. But Cody Llamas has had some moderate success here in the Hardee's National Series with 2 wins under his belt, both for United Emirates Racing here in that Ford team in the 94 camp, or really what was the 34 camp here. Llamas now moving to Texan Motorsport here for the first time here after moving to a Chevy team here. So Cody Llamas now looking to try and unleash a great lap time here to set a good benchmark for the rest of the field here for the Hardee's National race here this Saturday at Daytona here. So Cody Llamas rounding turn number 2 here, 182 miles per hour here. You can tell that it is considerably slower than the Sony Cup Series cars here. H&S officials kind of trying to implement more safety procedures on these cars to prevent more violent wrecks here. Cody Llamas now going 184 down the backstretch there, and into turn number 3 there, down the apron there. Llamas trying to get close to that yellow line there. Looks like that car isn't handling too well there, and off of turn number 4 there. Cody Llamas now rounding the front stretch and into the triangle. Let's see what lap time he's going to get there, and Cody Llamas is going to get a 48.7 there. So not the best lap time here for Cody Llamas, but around compared to their practice speed, they were a 48.5, so not too impressive for Cody Llamas here. A bit of a disappointment team, or really a bit of disappointment for the Texan team. Next up is JJ Roberts here, the rookie, who ran part-time with Flying Aces Racing, now moving up to the seat of the number 4 car here, the very same car that got Jake West his first ever championship and a clutch pass at Homestead, Miami with a 3-wide maneuver on the last lap here. JJ Roberts looking to try and repeat history here and bring that 4 car to a championship hunt here yet again here. So Roberts full-time this season here as a rookie for Curtis Racing here. So Curtis Racing taking up a bit of a risk here with a rookie in the car, but JJ Roberts has been close friends with John R. and a couple of the CM and Curtis Racing crew, as you see him going 183 miles per hour through turns number 1 and 2 there, trying to find the grip on that Chevrolet Camaro there as he roars down the backstretch here, 185 miles per hour. It's going to increase maybe just a bit there, 186 down the back there, and here he comes into turn number 3 there. Roberts trying to hug the inside line there to his advantage there, taking his time through 3 and 4 there, and rounding turn number 4 there. Roberts in the Boost Mobile Chevrolet Camaro there, rounding the front stretch and through the tri-oval here. Let's see his time here. Is that going to beat Lomas? And yes, it will. A 48.332 there. A great lap for JJ Roberts here, and that's going to put him ahead of Cody Llamas there. So a great start for the 4 teams so far here, but we still have more than 50 racers left to determine this qualifying session. Kyle Keith now on the racetrack here for the Young Motorsports gang here in the number 36 car. A bit of a new number style this time around, but Hooter staying on that number 36 car here for Kyle Keith here. Remember the Young team, a new team from 2018, having its now sophomore year as a team for 2019 here. So Kyle Keith now going to try and clock in his lap here, getting that car warmed up here to complete the first lap, but now you're going to see the lap time up on the far right-hand side. Sooner or later here, Kyle Keith, 180 miles per hour into turn 1, not as quick as the top 2 as of the moment here out of the 3 cars that are currently running right now. Kyle Keith, the slowest out of all of them so far here, still 180 miles per hour there. Good consistency of speed there in the corners there. No loss that time around. 182 down the backstretch here. Might see one more miles per hour differential here. 183 now that time around, and back to 182 into turns number 3 and 4 there. Kyle Keith in his second year with Young Motorsports here, not looking the best at the time being, but the team still trying to improve their SS program here. They were really slow last year, but this year they could be different here as they cross the line here, and it's going to be a 49.166. Definitely slower than the top 2, but even so, it's a bit of an improvement, I would say, compared to their program from last year. Sean Angel is up next on the racetrack here. One of the fan favorites in the series there, was close to winning the 2018 title there, and he could have won the 2018 title if it wasn't for a late caution that came out late in the race at Homestead because he had the right strategy. And today, it's his second year with Rodriguez Racing here for the number 6 team here, and the recent switch to Toyota could be different for Sean Angel here. He's going to get his warm-up lap into play here. That 6th car looking pretty good right now. 182 miles per hour, 183 miles per hour in the corner there and into turn number 1 there. Let's see what Angel can get here. His car looks really good so far here, and Angel has been a bit of the talk here in Speed Weeks in terms of the Toyota camp here, so Sean Angel could be one to look out for in this race. 185 miles per hour down the backstretch here. This Canadian car has been really quick here today. 186 down the backstretch there into turn number 3 there. Down to the apron there. 185, bit of a differential there. Into the 3rd corner and out of the 4th corner there. Sean Angel, who finished 3rd in points there. He is hungry for a championship this year, as here he comes down the tri-oval here, and he's gonna cross the line there. A 48.322 faster than JJ Roberts there by 100th. Just by 100th there. So Sean Angel for Rodriguez Racing is gonna be the top runner for the time being here. So car number 6 is P1 here on the charts. Here we have another Canadian on the racetrack here, joining the Hardee circuit here. It is Joseph Srigley in the number 37 here for the Fitzwater Australia Racing team here. Fitzwater pretty much deciding to extend to 4 cars this season for the Hardee's National Series and 2 cars to the Sony Cup Series here. So Fitzwater Australia Racing making a bit of a leap here of faith, or really fate to say the least here for the series here, as Srigley's going to get his warm-up lap clocked in here for the time being, though it's not going to count here. So Srigley going only 175 miles per hour. This is pretty concerning for the 37 team, pretty much to say the least here, because this is not a good sign for the speed of this Fitzwater team. Pretty much the Australian team looks like they're kind of struggling with their development of the race car here. And they're one of the few drivers, pretty much one of the few teams that have a lot of their cars in the go or go home session here, because so far the only 2 that have really just clocked in their times that are in the go or go home area are Cody Llamas and Kyle Keith here. So Joseph Srigley looking a bit in danger here, because the top 12 in the go or go homers pretty much make it to the show here. So this is going to be a bit of a concerning lap time here for the 37 here. The Tim Hortons car is going to cross the line here, across the start finish line, to looks like a 50.543, so a bit of a dismal lap time here for the Fitzwater Australia Racing team here. So Joseph Srigley is going to have to hope for a miracle in order to make it into the show here, looks like so far. But again, we still have plenty of cars left here, so you never know what could happen here. But again, a bit of a horrific lap time here for the Fitzwater Australia Racing entry. Anthony Marchesi, the Italian-born driver here, in his second year with Rodriguez Racing here, now in the number 33 car. This time around here, as I mentioned earlier, there's the switch with Toyota here, and Sean Angel had a blistering lap of a 48.322 here, so Anthony Marchesi could really change things up here. Has not won a race in the Hardee's National Series yet, this really just in his career so far here, so looking to maybe also change his career as well here. So Anthony Marchesi was consistent in 2018, just did not have the luck or really the speed compared to his teammates to really contend for those championship battles here. So Marchesi running 182 miles per hour into turn number 2 there, not too fast, not as fast as it looks compared to his teammate maybe. So again, we're gonna have to wait and see here what Marchesi can pick up in turns number 3 and 4 down the backstretch here. 184 miles per hour there. Let's see if we can get to 185. No, he cannot. So it's going to be a bit of a slower lap time for Anthony Marchesi here compared to his teammates. So it's definitely not going to beat the 6 car here. But rounding turns number 3 and 4 yet again here. Anthony Marchesi now using that groove to his advantage, trying to find the grip on the Goodyear tires here. And across the line, he's going to get a 48.679. So that's going to be 3rd quickest on the chart here. He's locked into the race no matter what, so it doesn't matter where Marchesi is going to qualify. He's pretty much locked into the show as well, but not as fast as his teammate or as JJ Roberts, but right now he's 3rd quickest. Next up in line is Phil Parker, now joining the S3 organization here as a rookie this season here. A self-proclaimed dirt racer here, Phil Parker has been a fan of the local racetracks and the dirt tracks overall here. So Phil Parker looking to maybe clock in a decent lap time here. S3 Motorsports has been a part of the Hardee's National Series for quite some time here. And they also tried to get their car into the Daytona 500 recently with James Ellison, I believe. And also the number 29 car here. So Phil Parker looking to see if he can clock in a decent lap time here. They're good to go here, so they don't have to worry about missing the show here for this series. So they're going to be a bit more relieved here. They're not going to have as much pressure as all the other new teams entering that have to race their way in, or pretty much have to qualify their way into the show here. 182 miles per hour down the backstretch here. Actually looking like a really solid lap time here for Phil Parker here. Might be a good midfield qualifying run for this 29 car here. So the S3 car maybe looking like they found a good super speedway setup here into turn number 3. Parker taking his time there through 3 and 4, trying to hug that bottom lane there, pushing up the racetrack just a tad there, 183 miles per hour down the front stretch and into the tri-oval they go. Phil Parker's gonna clock in a 49.081 here, so not the quickest lap time as you could tell, but that is going to be ahead of Kyle Keith there, so Phil Parker is going to be 5th fastest as of the moment. Ross Jackson is now up to the plate here in the number 25 Dr. Pepper Chevrolet Camaro for Flying Aces Racing here. Flying Aces Racing started off really rocky in the 2018 season, but as you noted, the 2018 season got better and better for that team here as the races progressed, and the second half of the season was a memorable one for the team here, with Alexander Rowe getting a historic win for the team here, and Ross Jackson getting some solid results here in the 25 cars. He clocks in that warm-up lap here, now down to the front stretch there to really conclude that front stretch there, 183 miles per hour, into the turn number 1 there, down to the bottom of the racetrack there, trying to hug that yellow line there. Ross Jackson looking like he's got a solid lap time here, definitely not pole running lap time as it seems, but we've seen these cars really get a bit more even here. 185 miles per hour down the backstretch this time around here. Jackson again continuing to really show his worth in the series here. Jackson has been a bit of a dark horse in terms of consistency here and has been an impressive rookie in his part-time races last year here, and this year could be the exact same thing as he is full-time this season here as he rounds turn 4 and into the tri-oval he goes. Let's see the lap time here, and it's going to be a 48.384 there. A great lap for the 25 car here, and that's going to put him 3rd quickest there ahead of the Rodriguez entry of Anthony Marchesi here. An impressive lap time from the Flying Races organization. Blaze McKinney is now on the racetrack here for the Fisher Motorsports team. His 2nd year with that organization here, had a great solid standing in the first half, but it really fell apart for the team near the second half of the season here, and they almost got a couple of wins there, but just could not snatch that first ever victory for the team here. So again, the new Toyota deal with them has been great for Fisher Motorsports here in the Hardee's program, and it looks like it could pay off for them here this season as well. But again, we're going to have to wait and see what Blaze McKinney can do. His 3rd year in the series here. Drove for Roush family the first year, but again, as we mentioned, 2 years now with the Fisher Motorsports team here. So Blaze McKinney now getting 183 miles per hour off the corner there that time around, trying to get that Toyota engine to the max here with that car. 184 down the backstretch, 185 down the backstretch there, and in a turn number 3 goes the number 12 car there, the Thorn Toyota, hugging that yellow line there just slightly, or almost hugging that yellow line there as he rounds turn number 4 there. Blaze McKinney is going to take his time down the front stretch here, trying to clock in a good lap time here. Let's see what he can get here. A 48.5, so faster than Marchesi here, so a great lap time for Blaze McKinney. Again, he is now up to 4th quickest this time around here for the number 12 team here, so faster than the 33, faster than Lomas, so again, could be some good signs for this 12 team here in their super speedway program here today. Jarrett Grose is now up next here for the Hood Huddleston team here. John Bundle stepping away full time from the Hardee's National Series to really pursue Sony Cup Series action here full time in the 53 as well. Food Line still staying with that team here. A new livery on that car here. Jarrett Grose, a rookie as well here. So not a lot of newcomers in the series trying to make their worth here, really trying to showcase their talent from all the other venues across the world, and now to this spectrum of racing here in the Hardee's National Series here. 178 miles per hour here. Not the quickest cars, you can tell here. A really underfunded team, but a nice livery to back that car up. So 179 in the corner there, so you actually gained some speed in the corner there. We rarely see that happen in qualifying here. Looks like he's going to get a good run off the corner there. 180 miles per hour there. Maybe we can see a bit more gain here. 181 miles per hour there. Jarrett Grose looking pretty good so far here for the team. And he's also another one of those drivers in the Go home area here, so he's got to clock in a good lap time here. As mentioned, the top 12 in the Go home session pretty much makes it, and really the Go home drivers make it in here. Rounding turn number 4 here, and into the tri-oval here. He looks like he's got a promising lap here. 182 miles per hour, and a 49.5 for Jarrett Grose here. And that's actually going to be slower than Kyle Keith here. I actually thought it would look like a really good lap, but it looks like it wasn't good for Jarrett Grose here. But again, still have plenty of cars left in the running here to decide the full-on field for the Hardee's race. Up next is Paul Jackson there, who was in the Baxter Normandy team there a while back last year. And it looks like the 90 car now finally getting on the racetrack. They looked a bit slow coming out of pit lane there, but it looks like they're getting that car warmed up to its liking here. And a recent alliance with the Turner Performance team might help this 90 team really get up to success here, maybe even contend or some wins here. They start off in the mid-tier area, and now they're building their way up here. They look like they're going to be one of the teams to look out for in terms of progression here, similar to the Flying Aces camp here. So Paul Jackson running his 2nd year in the Hardee's National Series here, looking to try and give himself some worth here, to give himself a statement that he actually belongs to the series as well. Again, in the Baxter Normandy team last year with little success there with the underfunded team. Really not behind him here, but Paul Jackson now rounding the backstretch here, 185 miles per hour. This car looks really good at the time being. This Roush Performance car looks fantastic here in this run. 185 into turns number 3, into turn number 4. Here they come, the Ford Mustang roaring its way off of corner number 4 here and down the front stretch here. Paul Jackson looks like his car looks really good as well. Across the line, a 48.391. That is a really good lap as well, and that is going to be behind Ross Jackson here, so pretty much everybody's fighting for that 4th position for the time being here. So a great lap for Paul Jackson here, a 48.391 for the 90 camp. Here's Hannah Allen on the racetrack here, and when we think of Allen, really just the term Allen, we think of the Allen family racing team as well as Andreas Allen here. The Allen family racing team here, known as one of the legendary Dodge teams on the grid here. They've been gaining a lot of speed lately, but Hannah Allen on her own little destiny here with CM Racing here, her 2nd year with the team here, had a very strong start, but just couldn't get things to work the right way when it came to the postseason, or really the end of the season here for the Zero team. So they're looking to try and cover the pieces up here. 184 into turn number 3 there. Looks like a really good lap here compared to Sean Angel here. Angel was 183 into turn 1, but it looks like Hannah Allen could really obliterate this lap time. It's just, let's see what she can get on the backstretch here. 185 down the backstretch here. Let's see, 186 down. Might be even 187 down the backstretch here. Into turn number 3 there, Hannah Allen now hugging that yellow line, trying to maintain her speed there. It's looking really good for a lap time. This could be a pole lap right here for the 0 car. Lost a bit of speed off the corner there, but really kept her ground for the time being. 187 teetering across the line, and that is a 48.182 for Hannah Allen there, and that is P1 on the charts for the 0 team there. A great start for Hannah Allen there, and she is faster by almost 2/10 from Sean Angel. Kev Shearer now coming onto the racetrack here. The number 62 car having a bit of a different look compared to all the other Hardee's cars on the racetrack here, and I think a lot of fans can pretty much identify it as a Days of Thunder kind of feel to that 62 car here. Dunkin' Donuts hopping onto that Toyota car for full time this season here. Kev Shearer coming in as a rookie as well. Again, we mentioned the surplus of new drivers coming into the series here, and that is why we had a big change in pretty much the Hardee's National Series as well as the new series coming up, the Napa Pro Series here. 181 miles per hour into turn number 1. Definitely not a pole lap for the time being here. The number 62 looks like it could be a good mid-pack qualifier as well here. Again, the SS package trying to even out the field here to make the field a lot more competitive in terms of the midfield, even the back market teams here for this year here. So Kev Shearer for Red Stallion Racing, 184 miles per hour down the backstretch. Into turn number 3 goes the number 62 car here. Kev Shearer trying to hug that yellow line, that yellow dotted yellow line. And rounding turn number 4 there, the number 62 car rounding the front stretch and into the tri-oval. The Dunkin' Donuts machine is going to clock in a decent lap time there of 48.785 here. So actually just slower than Cody Llamas, but faster than Phil Parker here. So not the quickest, but definitely not the slowest or the 62 car. Alexander Rowe is up next here for the second Flying Aces entry here, though this driver really put on a great foundation for this team here in terms of improvement here. Had an upset victory at Pikes Peak there. This team has been phenomenal at the short tracks here. Ross Jackson had a great lap time earlier in the day here with a 48.384. Could we see Alexander Rowe run about the same pace as the 25 here? We're gonna have to wait and see here as he crosses the line here to complete his warm-up lap here. 181 miles per hour there. Looks like it's going to be 182 miles per hour there, so might be just as even as his teammate there into turn number 1 there, hugging that yellow line there in the bottom. The Bluebell Ice Cream Chevrolet, Bluebell staying with the team for another season here, so Flying Ace is also developing their Napa Pro Series team in the lower series, so let's see if they can get some success there. But the 05 car looking really good here, 184 around the same time, looks like maybe as Kev Shearer here. But again, we're going to have to wait and see. In the 3 and 4 there, the Chevrolet not looking as good maybe as his teammate, but here he comes down the front stretch here, 184 miles per hour, 185, kind of ticking around there. And across the line, that is going to be a 48.715. So that is going to be, looks like, 8th fastest ahead of Cody Llamas, but not as fast as his teammate of Ross Jackson here. So Rowe might have to do a bit of gathering up here for the 05 team here, but again, they're locked in. Both their cars are locked in, so I don't think it will matter really whatsoever. United Emirates Racing is looking to try and regain themselves some ground here after a rocky 2018 season here. Simon Bloomfield now at the wheel of the 94 car here. You might know this scheme from Formula 1 here for this year. If you're a big Mercedes fan in terms of Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas, this is the scheme for you here. Simon Bloomfield in the Petronas car this year with Nick Salmon leaving the seat after 2018 here. He went fishing as Simon Bloomfield now going 182 miles per hour. Looks like it's about the same speed that a lot of the midfield cars have been running. 183 into turn 1 here. Looks like it might be a good lap here for the 94 car here. They've had some good solid run speed here, or really single car run speed with this team here. United Emirates Racing has had some luck at the super speedways here with Cody Llamas winning one of the races at Talladega in 2017. Down the backstretch here, 185 miles per hour into turn number 3 here. Looks like he's got a lot of good momentum into the corners here. So Simon Bloomfield and the rookie there looking really promising at the time being. 184 off the corner, back to 185 here down the front stretch. And here he comes down the tri-oval here. Simon Bloomfield's going to come across the line, 48.4. Holy guacamole, that's a great lap there. And that is going to be 6th quickest on the charts there. So great run for Simon Bloomfield here. A lot of these drivers are clocking in some good lap times here, but again, we still have the rest of the field to come here. Simon Bloomfield, again, a pretty solid effort for the 94 car. So here's Samet Ozkan on the track here with one of the new teams on the grid here, the Joseph Srigley Racing Team here with Srigley in the 37 for Fitzwater Australia Racing there. Samet Ozkan has hopped into the 98. See here, a former driver of the Red Stallion team here. Samet Ozkan trying to really implement that veteran experience to his advantage here. Maybe help develop this Toyota Camry to maybe becoming a midfield team in the future here, as they are locked into the show here. So it won't matter where this 98 car will qualify in the race here. 179 miles per hour in the front stretch and entering turn number 1 here. Not looking like a very promising lap time here. 180 into turn 1 there. And it looks like he's actually trying to keep that speed together there, showcasing that experience he has here. He's been a Sony Cup driver in the past here, so he's going to try and use that to his advantage here. 181 down the backstretch there. You see him kind of increase his speed down the backstretch there. That's what a lot of cars are kind of doing here. But one of the few Toyota teams on the grid here, only one car with Joseph Srigley Racing, and again, they're locked in, so it won't matter where they qualify here. Srigley's car running off of turn number 4 here. Ozkan keeping his line together, running a steady line on the front stretch, and the Fuzzy's vodka machine is going to cross the line there, and that will be a 49.305. So actually, that is faster than Jarrett Grose there, and that will be 14th quickest on the grid here for the time being. Another new team has now risen to the track here, and that is the Diego Yepes Incorporated team here, and it's with Jacob Edson in the number 76 car. This is a one-off entry here for the team here. Diego Yepes locked into the show here in the 03 car there, so they don't have to worry too much. Jacob Edson trying to give some data here. He's actually one of the few staples in the NSDCA universe, actually, so the 76 car looking to maybe try and find something, maybe find some data, important data for the 76 team here, as he's going to round that tri-oval there. 179 miles per hour, 180 miles per hour into the first corner there. Jacob Edson really just trying to get that car to his liking here into the corner there. The car not pushing too much, really has a lot of grip in that car there. Rounding turn number 2 there, the unsponsored number 76 rounds the lonely back straightaway there. 182 miles per hour down the back. And looks like that car isn't really as quick as the others, as you could tell there, just the difference in speed compared to the top teams here. And Jacob Edson now 182 miles per hour into turns number 3 and 4. This car is a go home entry, by the way, so he rounds out turn number 4 here. Let's see what his time can present to us here. 183 miles per hour into the tri-oval there. And it's going to be a 49.204. So Jacob Edson is going to be ahead of Samet Ozkan here, so he's 14th quickest on the grid. Ryan Griffin is now on the racetrack here, and boy, he's got a big story to tell here, recently leaving the Martin Motorsports camp and going to the Allen Family Racing Team organization here, and throughout testing, he's been one of the stars to look out for in the championship hunt here, has been the quickest in testing, but didn't really show too much in the qualifying results at Daytona. But even so, a lot of speed for pretty much Ryan Griffin as a whole. A promising start to what could be an era of Dodge here. 178 miles per hour across that warm-up lap there, and in 180 into the corner there. Ryan Griffin forming the new team in Dodge for the Hardee's National Series known as Great Lakes Motorsports, with Whirlpool being the sponsor for this Dodge Challenger here. So Ryan Griffin pretty much taking his time here out of turn number 2, 182 miles per hour here. And looks like it might be around that area here. It might be a stable increment there, and 183 there into the corner, went to 182 yet again there. So Ryan Griffin looking to have a mid-pack time here. He's actually another go homer here, so he actually needs to really pick up the pace here. 183 off the corner here. That time around, here comes Ryan Griffin across the line there. What's he gonna get? And it's a 49.179 there. And that might be faster than Cody Llamas. No, it will not be faster than Cody Llamas. That is actually slower than Kyle Keith here. So definitely not the best setup for the 56 team. So they might have missed the setup on that Whirlpool machine. Eric Demax has had an up and down career in the FBRL universe here. Started off as one of the biggest hype trains in the series, pretty much in both the Hardees and the Sony Cup series. Started off with Mace, and then left Mace after his Sony Cup triumph, or really his attempt at a Sony Cup Series career there, and then went down to the Mace Enterprise team again, left the team after some arguments, and is now in the Rodriguez Racing Camp here, where he will be currently running full-time in the 60 car here for the Sony Cup Series for the Rodriguez Racing Camp here. Him and John Arndt will share this seat for a couple of races here, for a lot of select races in the 60 car here, and with this car being part-time, they are in a go or go home situation here, with the max 183 miles per hour off of turn number 2 there, 184. 185, looks like they're really improving that speed there in the 60 car here. We've seen Sean Angel had a blistering lap compared to Hannah Allen. Let's see what this 60 car can do here. Demax into turn number 3, 185 miles per hour into turn 3, looking really good so far here. As he rounds turn number 4, really solid speed off the corner there. 186, and down the triangle they go. Eric Demax is going to clock in at 48.385 here. So that is just behind Ross Jackson, and that'll put him 5th quickest behind the number 25. So a great lap time for Eric Demax here. Looks like he's the fastest go-or-go-homer for now. Chase Dunbar in the number 46 Hitachi Tools Ford Mustang, and the newly funded Achilles Autosport here, looking to try and set his lap time here shortly here. The number 46 car and one of the newer teams here is also a go-or-go-home car, but his teammate, Patrick Zyke, will actually be locked into the show here. So Chase Dunbar, the owner, is going to have to race his way in here, really just qualify his way in here. 177 miles per hour across the line here for the warm-up lap here. And here we go, Chase Dunbar now going to try and clock in his lap time here. As you see him to turn number 1, 180 miles per hour here, so not too bad so far here for the 46 car. Chase Dunbar trying to get into the top 12 in the go-or-go-home cars here, or at least out of the go-or-go-home cars here. 181 down the backstretch here, the Ford Mustang trying to pick up some more speed here. And looks like Dunbar looking a bit promising for the time being here into turn number 3, 182 miles per hour there. Not as quick as those competitors up there, as you can tell, but into turns number 3 and 4, the 46 now watching up the racetrack just a tad there, but not too much. And here he comes into the tri-oval, and across the line the 46 car will get a 49.264, so that will be behind Jacob Edson here. So not a great lap time for Chase Dunbar here, so he might be in danger of not making this race. The last Rodriguez Racing entry on the list is Julio Cesar in the number 20 car, Napa Auto Parts. Coming onto the 20 here for full-time racing this year for Julio Cesar here. So Cesar, another rookie on the racetrack here, looking to try and prove his worth here. He's also been one of the few drivers that have been hyped up to the occasion here, and has been one of the more humorous characters on the racing surface here. So 180 miles per hour to conclude his warm-up lap there. Let's see what this 20 car has under the hood here. 182 in a turn number 1 here, not looking as good as Hannah Allen here. Definitely can't really compete with that car there. And Julio Cesar, looks like his car won't be definitely a pole lap here, but let's see if he can contend with his teammates in terms of qualifying speed here. 184 miles per hour down the backstretch here. Let's see, 185 that time around there. Into turn number 3, Julio trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack there, trying to get that car to grip the most there in that car. In that Toyota engine there, and here he comes rounding turn number 4 there, the number 20 car. The Napa Auto Parts machine there, Julio Cesar, now rounding the front stretch and into the tri-oval there, hugging that yellow line, and that's going to be a 48.562. So that is going to be right behind Blaze McKinney there. He is 9th fastest on the grid as of now. Young Motorsports now having their second car on the track here. It is Rob Evans in the Tornadoes Ford Mustang here. That 39 car had Daniel Olson behind the wheel last year, but now Rob Evans, who had driven for Castle Racing in the past, is now in that number 39 car. His second year in the season here. A lot of drivers kind of having their sophomore year this year. And Rob Evans is one of those few drivers there. 176 miles per hour, 177 across the line there. To conclude his warm-up lap that time around, Rob Evans into turn number 1, 179 in the corner there. Here he comes. 180 into turn 1 there. Backs it down to 179 there. So the car not looking as good, but keeping that car steady here doesn't look too out of shape there. So Rob Evans keeping that car under control there. 181 miles per hour there. Trying and see if he can run about the same lap time as Kyle Keith and maybe even faster than Kyle Keith here. Rob Evans 182 into turn number 3 here. And the Tornadoes car still looking pretty solid here. I believe he's also another go-or-go-homer as well. So Rob Evans needs to really pick up the pace here a bit if he wants to get a good lap time here. So 182 into the trial he goes. And let's see what he gets. 49.349. So that is actually slower than Kyle Keith. So Rob Evans, not a great lap time there. He's actually slower than Samet Ozkan. So he's going to be 20th quickest on the board. Jose Millz is now out onto the racetrack here. He's one of also the new stars coming into the Hardee's National Series and the Sony Cup Series here. He's actually running full-time with the Cloud9 Racing Team in the 61 car for 2019, or really this year to be exact. And he'll be running some select races with Justin Johnson in this car as well. Tabasco Hot Sauce has been climbing as a sponsor for this Tommy Roberts team here, one of the newer teams in this series as well. 178 miles per hour when he crossed the line there. Let's see what this 35 car has under the hood. Jose Millz trying to get as much experience as he can. 180 in the corner there. And here he comes in the turn 1, keeping his speed consistent there. A great amount of momentum for Jose Millz there. Off of turn number 2 there. The Tabasco Hot Sauce machine looking really good here in terms of the go-or-go-homers so far. 182 miles per hour. 183 maybe into turn 3. No, we will not be able to. 182 still in the backstretch. And in turn number 3 he goes here. Jose Millz trying to keep that car up to pace here. Trying to outperform as much as he can with this 35 car here. Rounding turn number 4 there. The 35 car down the front stretch here. And into the triangle yet again. Jose Millz is going to cross the line there with a 49.198. So that is actually a really impressive lap there. And that is going to be ahead of Jacob Edson. So that puts him 17th quickest, just behind Ryan Griffin. And here comes the second Tommy Roberts racing car going out on the track. That is Cody Goforth, also one of the few drivers that race in the NSDCA here. The driver of the number 38, also a rookie in the series, and another go-or-go-homer in the series as well. Goforth looking to see if he can try and clock in a solid time here as he gets that car warmed up here, getting that Ford Mustang engine in, and getting that second entry, hopefully, into the main event here. So 178 miles per hour, 177 across the line there to conclude the warm-up lap, and now it is go time for Cody Goforth here. 180 into turn number 1 there. Cody Goforth now into the first corner, hugging that yellow dotted line there and seeing if Forth can find that speed off the corner there. Let's see what that 38 car can do here. Looking pretty good here. 181 miles per hour on the backstretch. 182. Looks like he's keeping his speed consistent for the time being here. And here he comes into turn number 3 here. Good amount of momentum into the third corner. Cody Goforth trying to maybe outperform his teammate of Jose Millz here. His teammate who qualified literally just recently ahead of him in line. So the 38 car coming off of turn number 4 here. Cody Goforth coming across the line here for the Tommy Roberts Racing entry there with a 49.198. So that's actually exactly tied with this teammate there. So they're going to be close together literally right now in the qualifying session. So that's going to put him, I believe, 18th quickest, but basically tied for 17th quickest with a blistering lap like that, and really much tied with his teammate. Joey Murphy has now arrived in the scene here. The Minnesota native has not returned to the circuit for quite a while here until just this year. And he was a Sony Cup driver way back then, but now it's a good return for Joey Murphy here, now joining the Full Frontal Motorsports organization, which were the Baxter Normandy team here, so they're switching over to a Chevy team here. Murphy playing a lot of golf these past couple years here, playing some PGA Tour here, pretty much playing some of the simulations. And Joey Murphy trying to clock in a solid lap time here. He's also in the go or go home situation as well here. So Murphy looking like he needs to also have a great lap time if he wants to make it to the big show here. And into turn number 1 there, 180 miles per hour into the corner here, not too bad for the Arby's machine there, rounding turn number 2 here. Joey Murphy now going 181 miles per hour down the backstretch here, 182. And you see the speed's going to gradually increase here. Maybe if he gets there, 183 there into turn number 3 there, Murphy's going to have a good amount of momentum into the corner there, 182 downwards there, and he's going to hug that yellow line yet again here. That's what a lot of drivers need to do here with that one lap, because that lap is important here in the Frontal Motorsports entry there, 183 miles per hour across the line there, and Joey Murphy's going to get a 49.162, so that'll put him ahead of Kyle Keith there, but just behind Phil Parker, so that puts him, I believe, that's going to be 15th quickest. So Joey Murphy now 15th quickest on the grid here for the time being. Daniel Bouchard is now on the track here, the third Tommy Roberts Racing entry here for the team here. So this new team kind of starting off with 3 different cars here, all Ford Mustangs obviously, but bring that front row motorsports vibes to it. So Imler's Poultry on this 34 car. Daniel Bouchard was part-time with Hero Motorsports in 2018 there. He just did not have the look behind that 27 car and just wasn't meant to be for Daniel Bouchard. So now he's running full-time for the first time this season here. So this is a new experience for Daniel Bouchard here in the 34 car, 179 miles per hour into turn number 1 here. This veteran trying to find something, but doesn't look as fast as his teammates here, so might be a bit of a concern for Tommy Roberts Racing here, but then yet you have to remember they're a new team here, 181 miles per hour down the backstretch here. Looks like he might get to 182 at the latest there, and there it is. Into turn number 3, the Imler's Poultry car now going to the bottom of the racetrack there, trying to hug that dotted yellow line, as I've mentioned several times before. A 34 car just getting lower and lower, not able to really get much of differential compared to his teammates here. Let's see if he can get some speed off of turn 4, get some bite, and across the line, Daniel Bouchard is going to get a 49.367, so a pretty big disappointment for him, and that's going to put him a bit downwards to 24th quickest. So not good for Daniel Bouchard, but his teammates are in a bit better shape than him. Out onto the racetrack here is Max Ludger in the number 99 Logitech Dodge Challenger for the Trailblazer Motorsports team here. Trailblazer has been one of the bigger teams that have also been developing, similar to the Flying Aces route here, and their recent switch to Dodge looks like they might be helping this team a bit, as well as their alliance with the Allen Family Racing team here. So Max Ludger trying to really improve his worth here, was with the S3 team last year, now with what could be a midfield team this year. Vance Conwell drove this 99 car here, though a Chevy. Here we go. Looks like Ludger's gonna get 182 miles per hour into turn 1 there and turn 2 there. He's gonna try and go sicko mode on this lap time here there off of turn number 2 there. Ludger with a good amount of momentum there, 183 miles per hour there. Let's see, 184 down the backstretch here. But like I said, Vance Conwell drove this same car here to get a mid-pack run with this car here, pretty much mid-pack points-wise, and they're having a big upgrade here. 184 miles per hour into turn 3 there. Good maintenance of speed off the corner there. Looks like it wanted to teeter around the 183 mark there, but into the tri-oval here comes Max Ludger into the lap, and it's going to be a 48.707 there. Not too bad of a lap, not too shabby. And that is right behind Anthony Marchesi. So that puts Max Ludger 11th fastest on the grid. Next up on the track, we have Nathan Ormond in the AMS Oil Chevrolet Camaro for the performance grading team here, which was helped, in a way, Jake was kind of helped fund that team, but Alan Hobbs decided to hop in, no pun intended there, and fund the team to his liking here. More of a late model kind of vibe to it. The number 21 car rounding turd number 4 here, 176, trying to get the gears together here. And Nathan Ormond, also a go homer, coming into this event here, trying to qualify his way in here. Let's see what this 21 car can do here. Ormond going 181 miles per hour. He did try to attempt to run the Daytona 500 for the Sony Cup side. They will be running the duels sooner or later here, so he's going to try and race his way in here. So we'll have to see how that 21, or how he does up there in that side of things. But Ormond going 183 miles per hour down the backstretch here. The Chevrolet Camaro trying to find the full horsepower that it has. And here he comes into turn number 3. 184, 183, teetering, tottering around those two speeds right there here. Ormond now on the bottom there, kind of hugging that bottom a bit lower than some of the other drivers here. And here he comes off of turn number 4 there, trying to get back and trying to find the grip back here on that car. And across the line, Ormond's going to get a 48.900. So that actually is a pretty solid lap there, and that is going to put him, that's actually ahead of Phil Parker, I believe. So Phil Parker ran a 49.081, Ormond ran a 48.9, so a great lap for Nathan Ormond. Jake Rogers now coming out on the track here for the Maven Dragons team here. Another new team joining the Hardee's National Series. We have 58 entries for those wondering in. Jake Rogers with the Whole Foods sponsored Ford Mustang there for the team here. Rogers trying to get that car again cranked up here. I'm going to mention, it's kind of a more repetitive thing I've said these past couple of times. If you're wondering about Nathan Ormond, he is currently 15th quickest on the grid here and one of the highest go homers for the time being. 178 miles per hour for Jake Rogers here. He is actually also a go homer as well. 180 in the corner there, and so far so good here. Might be around the area of Jose Millz and Cody Goforth. So let's see what this 95 car can handle here off of turn number 2 there. Rogers now on the gas here. You're pretty much full throttle here no matter what, but trying to find the right lane to get that speed off the corner there. 182 miles per hour there down the backstretch, and here he comes into turn number 3 there, a bit slower compared to all the other lap times there we've seen recently with the new teams. So Jake Rogers now hugging that yellow line there, or trying to, off of turn number 4, getting into the grip there, trying to find that rubber on the track there, and across the line he's gonna get a 49.281, so that's gonna put him a bit ways back, and that is behind Chase Dunbar, so that puts him 24th quickest, and that's not really gonna be a good enough time for Jake Rogers, I would think. Here comes Shade Eaves coming onto the backstretch here to try and get his warm-up lap started here, or really conclude his warm-up lap here in the 83 weeks Ford Mustang for the Team NSDA. So the NSDCA is, well, I said it wrong earlier, but the NSDCA is one of those leagues that in which the FBRL and NSDCA kind of a bit of a happy rivalry, to say the least here. Brandon Morris and a couple of others working together here, trying to kind of lead to a cooperation there. 178 miles per hour when he crossed that line for that little mini warm-up lap there. 180 miles per hour into the Traverse corner here in terms of the update. We'll actually get you updated here in the Go Homers after this qualifying lap for the time being, but Shade Eaves, 180 miles per hour there, pretty stable off of turn number 2 there, 181 down the backstretch, 182 there. Looks like he's gaining some power there this time around. Should be able to get to 183 there, and there it is. The time to beat for now, I believe, is Rob Evans' lap, so we'll get to that. Shade Eaves there, 182 into turn number 3 and 4 there, maintaining his line there just properly there. Shade Eaves, the rookie, trying to help out the NSDCA team here, and here he comes to the triangle to cross the line there, and that is going to be a 49.150. So that is going to be ahead of Joey Murphy, but just behind Phil Parker. That puts him 17th quickest, and that is going to knock Rob Evans off the pedestal in terms of the Go Homers. The first Turner Performance car has finally arrived onto the track here to start their qualifying lap here. James Shelley in the number 71 here. He's no stranger to the Sony Cup Series and no stranger to the Hardee's National Series here. Drove for the Fear Sport team that is now defunct. Last year had a lot of glimpses of speed here, and looking like this year could be a breakout year for James Shelley in the Smithfield Ford Mustang here. The 71 car was close to winning the championship with TJ Martin at hand, but now it's James Shelley's turn to give it a shot to try and fight for this championship as well. 182 miles per hour into the corner here, 183 miles per hour into the corner here. 71 car looking very good on speed here, and James Shelley himself said that he felt like he could win this championship this year and has the confidence to really back it up here. 184 miles per hour down the backstretch here. It's going to increase more and more just because of the amount of funding and power this team has. 185 down the backstretch there and into turn number 3 there. Shelley looking really good here. Definitely a front-running lap here. Let's see what the 71 car has in store. Off of turn number 4 there, the Smithfield Ford rounding the front stretch. And here he comes into the triangle here. James Shelley crosses the line, 48.478 here. Not as quick as Hannah Allen, but still pretty quick overall there. So it's going to be quicker than Simon Bloomfield, but just behind Paul Jackson here. Even so, a great qualifying run for the Smithfield Ford. Yep, Motorsports now bringing their first car out on track here, and it's Jeffrey White in the number 26 car here. You might have known him. He's actually related to Michael White here, the son of that driver there. So the one main financial Ford Mustang here, Jeffrey White in his second year with the Yamp Motorsports here. He's running part-time this year with the Yamp team, and for James Shelley, in his case over there, I forgot to mention this, he's also part-time, I believe, with the Hero team. It's either that or the Turner team, I believe. Either way, but Jeffrey White crossing the line there, 180 miles per hour there, not looking too fast compared to the other drivers, but let's see what he's got in store here in that Yamp car. Into turn number 1 here, 181 miles per hour into the corner there. Jeffrey White trying to hold his ground here. And rounding turn number 2 there, 182 miles per hour down the backstretch, 183 and counting here. He's probably going to get to 184 there. There it is right there. And into turn number 3, he's going to go right down to the bottom of the racetrack there. That is exactly where you want to go. You see these drivers kind of getting into that dark gray area. That is the rubber on the racetrack there. Jeffrey White now rounding turn number 4 here, 184 miles per hour. And here he comes into the tri-oval here to cross the line, and it's going to be a 48.830. So that is pretty disappointing there. That is going to be 16th quickest here, so right behind Kev Shearer here. So not a great lap for Jeffrey White here, but he's already locked in the show, so it's not going to be too big of a deal. Here comes another CM Racing car coming out of the racetrack here. It's Alex Benjako this time around. Recent polls in which owners and drivers voted, and fans alike voted for the most popular driver and who they liked the most, and that driver itself was Alex Benjako there. So good shout out to the number 8 team here. Pretty much the driver itself, Benjako, had a great start to the season like Hannah Allen, but kind of struggled in the second half. Gained some ground near the end of things here, but now trying to clock in a great lap here, maybe trying to get a blistering lap here, like his teammate of Hannah Allen here. 184 into turn number 1 here. Really good turn there that time around here. 184 there, looking really good so far. Yako might be in the best spot here to try and get that pole position here. Out of turn number 2, 185 miles per hour off the corner there. 186 down the backstretch here. Into turn number 3, he's going to go 186. Is a great speed to enter into turn number 3 here. Let's see what he can do. Can he match or even get better than the lap time of Hannah Allen there, losing a bit of speed off of turn 4, 186. Now, well, back to 186 there. And here he comes, 187 miles per hour. And here he comes to the tri-oval. And it's going to be a 48.190. And that is just so close to Hannah Allen there, was just short. Just a few thousandths off of the number 0 car there, but Alex Benjako, P2, with the CM now sweeping this front row as of right now. Next up on our list here is Peter Onjack in the number 77 here for Fitzwater Australia Racing here. As I mentioned earlier with Joseph Srigley's reel, Fitzwater Australia Racing extending to 4 cars and 2 cars in Sony Cup Series here. So we don't know how fast this car can be. 167 miles per hour for turn 4, so I would say it's a bit hideous to see the results here of what this team has in store here. Peter Onjack now crossing the line here, 172 miles per hour there across the line. Let's see what he has here. 173 miles per hour, 174, trying to get that speed upwards here for the 77 car here. He's a go or go home person here, so he really needs to kick it up a notch here if he wants to make it into the show here in that Jasper Engines Toyota here. So rounding turn number 2 here, 175 miles per hour off the corner there, 176. He's slowly gaining speed here, really just trying to find the momentum in that race car here, but it just doesn't seem like they have the horsepower for that team to really get that car up for the field here. So 176 into the third corner here. Peter Onjack, the rookie, trying to just do what he can here. I don't think you can really blame some of those drivers in that team for just how slow the car can get here. 177 miles per hour here, and here he comes across the line here, and it's going to be a 50.8. So that's worse than Joseph Strickley's car. He is the slowest car on the track here, so Peter Onjack isn't going to. Next up is Jack Porkins, now the third CM entry to now try and qualify their way in here. They're locked in no matter what. Jack Porkins had a rocky start to the season here, was actually outside the top 10 in points at some point, but managed to work his way up in the second half of the season here. Definitely one of the hard chargers here, and definitely a force to be reckoned with here maybe this season here. Now switching to the number 1 here for CM Racing. Peak Antifreeze still staying on the car for this one team here, so pretty much the same team and crew, just with a different number. So Jack Porkins with a different car number here, to say the least here. 182 into turn 1, won't be as fast as his teammates here, so we know that it isn't going to be a pole lap necessarily, but definitely a good top 10 run here for this one team potentially here. Off of turn number 2 here, 183 off of turn 2 there, down the back stretch here, 184. You see the speed up in this top center here increase gradually, 185. And into the turn number 3 he goes there. Jack Porkins looking to maybe try and join that front row of cars there, maybe in the second or third row here, to see if he can join Hannah Allen and Alex Benjako there. But off of turn number 4 here, Jack Porkins not looking as fast as his teammates here, but here he comes across the line, and it's going to be a 48.614, so that is actually pretty far down the order there. That is actually outside the top 10, and that is below Julio Cesar, so that puts him 12th quickest in the race so far. And here comes another Dodge team coming out onto the track here, the Red Line team. This team was not that good in 2018. They really struggled with the Chevrolet Camaro there. Just couldn't get that car up to speed. Had Patrick Smith behind the wheel, and that team just struggled throughout. And now they recently switched to Dodge here in hopes of finding some better success here. And with a veteran driver like Shepard, who is now coming into his second year full-time in the Hardee's National Series here, he's got 2 wins in his belt. And that was with the Rodriguez Racing Cam here, 179 miles per hour here. So it looks like a good midfield qualifying run for this 65 team here. So they're definitely showing already some good improvements on where they're at. Redline Motorsports looking like they could be a solid midfield team in this season here. Maybe they could be like in the Trailblazer camp, where they can actually move their way up further up into the upper midfield and maybe even the top 10 area. So we're going to have to wait and see here. 183 miles per hour down the backstretch here. Shepard really just pulling the wheel behind in that 65 Corsair Dodge there. And he's really doing one heck of a job there. So the 65 car showing a lot of grip here, a lot of horsepower on that Dodge there. And here he comes rounding turn number 4 here. The 65 car is going to cross the line here. Looks like 184, maybe. There it is, 184 there. And it's going to be a 49.025. And also we have to note that the 65 car is a go or go homer. So we actually need to note that. So that is actually going to put him ahead of Phil Parker here. So that's going to knock Jake Rogers out of the show here. So great lap for Shepard there. That puts him pretty high up, just behind Nathan Ormond though. But even so, a great lap for the 65. And here's another go or go homer here. It is Vance Conwell in the number 24 Target Chevrolet Camaro here for Texan Motorsports here. So The third entry here, the second full-time entry for this team here. Vance Conwell moving from Trailblazer over to the Texan team here, looking to try and outperform that car again. Vance Conwell was a great midfield warrior in 2018 here with the Trailblazer equipment he was in. Really outperformed it, and Demax gave him the call there, saying if he wanted that offer at Texan, and Conwell took it with a lot of grace there. So 182 miles per hour there, 183 miles per hour. Into the corner here, really good speed into the corner here. Could match Hannah Allen's pace there. Maybe not as good, but let's see. Vance Conwell might have a good lap here. Maybe even a top 5 lap here. 184 miles per hour here. 185. It's just increasing and increasing more. Conwell really loving his car right now. They definitely have a good car under that engine here. Vance Conwell's really driving the balls out of it here. So 185 miles per hour into turns number 3 and 4. He's a go-or-go homer as well, as I mentioned. So that's easily going to knock Chase Dunbar off the go-or-go home list here. He's going to have to miss the show. And Vance Conwell crossed the line, 48.429. So it looked really promising in turns 1 and 2. Just couldn't get it. Maybe in the backstretch and turn 3 here. So a 4.29, that is 8th quickest, so that's still a pretty good lap time for Vance Conwell. And here's car number 59 here, the PureTech Toyota Camry for Fitz1 Australia Racing, now piloted by Caitlin Murphy in that car there, so she's trying to get a good lap time here. She's already locked into the show due to the technicality mentioned in the H&S headlines in the Sony Cup Series Discord, where there was a vacant spot in the top 30, and this car was the closest that wasn't bought or really sold here. So the 59 car going 171 miles per hour into the start finish line here. Let's see what she'll do. She already knows that she doesn't really have to push it too hard because she can make it to the show nonetheless. So she's locked in regardless. So the other 3 cars might be in danger here, really the other 2 that have run laps for the moment, but Caitlin Murphy is safe and sound for the time being for these first 5 races of the season. So Fitz1 Australia Racing, despite having 4 cars, at least has one of their cars locked into the show here. So the 59 car just now trying to get more experience, trying to get that car settled down here. Caitlin Murphy, 175 miles per hour into turn 3, down to 174. And here she comes, rounding turn number 4 here to complete her time lap here down the front stretch here. Taking her a good time here in that car. Not as fast as the others, as you could tell, but across the line there, a 51.304. So that's definitely the slowest time out there, actually. So way slower than Joseph Srigley here. Caitlin Murphy, not the fastest lap there, certainly not at all. Up next is Kyle Buschellia for the second Turner Performance entry here on the list. Now trying to run full time here for a championship like James Shelley. He actually was on a Dodge team last year, but that team also shut down like Durbin Incorporated here. So pretty much Shelley and Buschellia is saying a similar story, in which they were from a Dodge team last year. Now they're in the Turner Performance team in hopes of making themselves worthy of a championship. But Shelley looking like he's got a really good lap in his hands here. 183 miles per hour there, 184 miles per hour there into turn 1. That's definitely going to be a lap to match here. He could be the one on the pole here for today. Let's see what he can get. 184 miles per hour there, definitely faster than Hannah Allen as it seems there. Allen was 183, I believe, in the corner there. 186 miles per hour there in the backstretch here. Let's see, he might get to 187. There it is. So Kyle Buschellia really getting the timetables on fire here. So actually he might be matching Allen's lap time, or really close to it. 186 into turn number 3 and 4. Buschellia's got a blistering lap time here. Here he comes, rounding turn number 4 there and into the front stretch and through the tri-oval. Buschellia is going to cross the line with a 48.102, so that is a pole lap for Kyle Buschellia there. Great run for the 17 car there. The Taxac machine is going to be up front here for today for the time being. We still got plenty of drivers left in store, but Kyle Buschellia with a blistering lap time, way faster, or more or less 800ths faster than Hannah. Next up on the track is Corey Gene Williams in the number 14 Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet Camaro here. Corey Williams having Bass Pro Shops as a sponsor here. Curtis Racing obtaining that after the assets being bought there. So Curtis Racing buying Athenian assets on the Sony Cup side, bringing Bass Pro Shops to their sponsorship role here. So They're going to be sponsoring that team for quite a while here in the Sony Cup Series and the Hardee's National Series here. Corey Williams now going 181 miles per hour there for his warm-up lap, 182. And let's see if he can match that time, maybe, of the others. No, he will not be able to. 184 coming into the turn 1 here, so Corey Williams showing a little bit of promise. Still 184 in the corner there, so still maintaining a good amount of speed off of turn 2 here. Williams, who did run for CBM, now with the Curtis Racing Organization, had 2 wins in his belt there, so he's looking to try and repeat that process, and he stated that he actually would like to stay in this ride for quite a while here, so he definitely is looking in the long term in terms of the Curtis Racing team here. So 186 back to 185 off of turn number 4 here. And here he comes down the front stretch and through the tri-oval. He might not be as fast as the others. Let's see what he gets though. And it's going to be a 48.250, so even so, not the pole lap, but even that, it is pretty quick overall. So that is 4th quickest here, Corey Williams, P4 on the charts. Here comes the last Texan Motorsports entry on the list here, and it is Vince Friese, the number 42 car here, driving for that team. He started off the season last year with Titanium Motorsports. They're in the 26 car part-time. Did not do too well in it, but went to Flying Aces Racing, got some solid runs. In that car here, Vince Friese now trying to prove his worth, very humble with what he's been offered here, and he said he's just grateful for being in the sport he is today here, running not the best lap time for the time being. His warm-up lap not looking as good, but 180 miles per hour, he is locked into the show here, so he doesn't have to worry too much. 181, not as fast, I would say, as his teammate. But even so, Vince Friese still trying to pack in a good lap time for this 42 car here to get a good starting position for the Daytona race here. 182 miles per hour down the backstretch here, 183 miles per hour here. 42 car looking really nice on the racetrack. I'd say one of the best liveries we've seen so far today in the race. So we have a lot of great liveries to really showcase the cars and their worth here, as well as the aerodynamics are really more or less just the visual effect and aesthetic that this series has. Vince Friese coming off of turn 4 and through the tri-oval. The Credit One Bank Chevrolet coming across the line with a 48.981. So not a great lap for him, but he's still locked into the show nonetheless. So Vince Friese is going to have to work his way up towards the field if he wants to make himself a worthy opponent for contending for the win. Here's a familiar face you might recognize here. It is James Silverfox in the number 10 here for the Gennaro Motorsports team here, driving the Privy Dodge here. So another Dodge team coming forth here today. They're also in a go or go home situation here, so James Silverfox needs to clock in a great lap time here if he wants to make it in to the main event as well. So a lot of these drivers are just desperate to get good laps in. 178 miles per hour once he crosses the line there for his warm-up lap, and now to start the time lap here, 179 here, 180. So he's looking to try and bump out Jacob Edson here in this race. So James Silverfox here, 180 in the corner here, looking so far so good and pretty steady for the time being off of turn number 2 here, just trying to use the veteran experience here. James Silverfox was, after he retired, or pretty much announced his retirement and doing just more part-time events, Silverfox is really just trying to keep his car, or really keep his career kind of a bit more quiet, to say the least. Pretty fast in the 91 car on the Sony Cup side here, as you see, he rounds turn number 4 here. Silverfox still doing great in a part-time basis here, and now he's trying to go full-time in the series with this Dodge team here. And here he comes across the line there. It's going to be a 49.086, so actually that's a pretty good lap. That's going to knock Jacob Edson out of the show here, so a 49.086 is just behind Phil Parker, but that is 26th quickest. If you're wondering about Vince Friese, I almost forgot about him. He is currently 23rd fastest. So for those wondering about Vince Friese, so apologies for missing out on that. But Silverfox is into the show so far. Here's William Brock on the track here. He's also a go or go home person as well. We have 8 drivers, including William Brock, left in terms of the go or go home situation here. So William Brock looking to try and knock someone out of it, and that man that could be knocked out is Cody Goforth here. And I believe, based on the speed already, William Brock already getting a great foundation and a great start to this 7 car here. William Brock was full-time with Horizon Group last year, but then just nobody really wanted to hire him, so he went to the Yamp team there. Yamp pretty much gave him an opportunity to run the 7 car, originally a part-time deal, but they decided to go full-time. But unfortunately, the 7 car does not have the owner's points there based on Titanium selling their assets away. But now William Brock, now in the go home list here, but he's definitely got the speed to really showcase here. 184 down the backstretch here. Might even be more, 185 down the backstretch here. So definitely a good lap time. I'd say that solidify him into the show here. So I think based on where William Brock's going to end up, he's pretty much going to clinch himself a spot nonetheless here. I would say the same with Demax and Conwell. So I wouldn't count out the rest of the drivers just yet, but here comes Brock across the line here, and it's going to be a 48.617. So that's a really good lap there, right behind Jack Porkins. So he's going to be 16th quickest, so that's definitely a good lap for William Brock to make it to the show. Jay Jefferson is next up on the list here, the 2nd car for the performance grading team here. Nathan Ormond had a great lap time here, so I think Jay Jefferson's going to be pretty optimistic and try to do the exact same thing here and try and knock Jose Millz off the list. So Cody Goforth recently getting bumped out of the show here, so he will not make it to the main event here, so tough break for him. But now Jose Millz, actually Jose Millz is in the bubble seat too, technically, because they're both tied, so Jay Jefferson has to really get a good lap here and get faster than that 35 car and the 38 car here. So Jefferson looking like he needs to do something here. 182 in the corner here. So far, maybe a mid-pack lap. Definitely trying to replicate what Ormond's doing here. Trying to maybe match his teammate in pace. And here he comes, rounding turn number 2. 184 miles per hour here. And it's going to probably increase just a little bit there. 185. And into turn number 3 there, Jay Jefferson rounding turn number 3 there, hugging that yellow line to the bottom there, trying to find the grip in those Goodyear tires there. The Samet Racing Equipment Chevrolet rounds turn number 4 there. And here he comes to the front stretch there for the final time in this qualifying session here. And Jay Jefferson's going to cross the line there with a 48.611. So that is definitely good. Way better lap time than Nathan Ormond. A outstanding lap time, actually. That is faster than William Brock. So a spectacular lap time by Jay Jefferson there. That's a pretty big upset for the performance grading team there. So that's definitely going to put him into the show here. I'd say he's pretty much clinched in as well here. But again, you never know how this show might go on here. But a great lap for Jay Jefferson there. But for Jose Millz, he's out of the show as well. So I actually miscalculated in terms of the times here. Jay Jefferson did run a 48.611. That is still a great lap. That is 15th quickest overall there. And that is spectacular for the performance grading team here. They look like they found a good qualifying setup here. Really a good SS setup for the team overall here. So they're definitely on good feet here early on. But looking now at our driver here, it is Scott Roush in the 3 car here. Now joining the CM family for racing now. So now he's going 181 miles per hour here. Not looking as quick maybe as his teammates here. But Jay Jefferson, as I mentioned earlier, faster than Jack Porkins in some of the high-tiered teams. So it's a really big shocker to see an 80 car run up front like that, or really run well like that. But again, focusing back on Scott Roush, pretty much just an up and down season, really, or more or less in terms of his career ride-wise. He's been swapping everywhere he's gone to. But Scott Roush now in the 3 car running full-time this season here. He has had experience with this team before back in 2016, but now is reunited with them for a 2019 campaign for the championship here. Rounding turn number 4 here, Roush now with 185 miles per hour here, and into the tri-oval across the line. Scott Roush is going to get a 48.540. So that is going to be right ahead of Blaze McKinney. That's going to put him 13th quickest overall. Here we are, Allen Family Racing Team has arrived to the scene here in Daytona. Chris Dodd in the 43 car here today. Now running a full-on Dodge team there. Dodd went from Martin Motorsports to the Allen Family Racing Team here. So Chris Dodd looking to try and prove things right for his career here. Try and turn his career around after an injury that hindered his 2018 season, or pretty much a lot of his seasons overall here. So Chris Dodd, 181 miles per hour there that time around. Looking really good so far. 183 miles per hour here. And here he comes into the corner, 184 miles per hour there, backs it down to 183 there, so looking like around the lap time of Corey Williams here, mirroring that 14 car's time here. So Chris Dodd, also a go-homer, definitely going to knock someone out of the pedestal there, and that man is going to be Ryan Griffin here. So that's going to be huge for Ryan Griffin, and that's going to be bad news for him. So a bit of a shocker to see Griffin in a bubble like that, but Chris Dodd, 186 in the corner there, so still pretty solid lap in the making for this Allen Family Racing entry here. So rounding out turn number 4 here, the Hot Wheels car is indeed going to be hot today here as it comes across the line there with a 48.268. So that is almost identical to Corey Williams' lap time, but he's going to be 5th quickest here. So even so, a great run for Chris Dodd, and I would say that clinches his way into the show, definitely. Here's the next Great Lakes Motorsports entry, and it is Gatlin Downey in the number 55 car here, the Little Caesars Dodge Challenger here. And it's the secondary car, as I mentioned earlier here. Gatlin Downey is locked into the show here, so it doesn't matter for him. But Gatlin Downey was looking for a ride years back, just couldn't get one, but finally he's gotten the opportunity to step into the Hardee's National Series race car here. And it's going to be quite a surreal experience for him, 178 miles per hour. Here across the line, so definitely not as quick as the top-funded teams here, but he's definitely still taking his time here trying to get the grip of the Dodge Challenger here. Definitely a lot of horsepower and muscle underneath that engine there, and Gatlin Downey on the bottom of the racetrack here. So off of turn number 2, 181 miles per hour off the corner here. We've seen a lot of drivers kind of stay around that range here, so pretty consistent range overall here, so it's definitely a good sign on how close this package has been in terms of the regulations here. 183 into turn number 3 here. Gatlin Downey is going to be quite something to look out for here. We haven't really heard much of Gatlin Downey here, but this season could be something for him. Could be a good midfield driver here. 183 off of turn number 4 here, and here he comes to the triangle here to conclude his lap time here, and it's going to be a 49.029, so really good lap there, better than his teammates, so he outperformed or outqualified the experienced Ryan Griffin there. So that is going to put Gatlin Downey ahead of Phil Parker, and that's going to put him 29th fastest on the grid as of right now. So he's 29th for today. Here we go, it's Brandon Morris here in the number 5 Folgers Ford Mustang Ford Team NSDCA, the owner of the team here. He's an owner-driver here, so Brandon Morris looking to also try and make his way into the show via lap time here. So he's also in the go or go home situation here. We still have plenty of drivers in the go or go home area left. Eric Monaco, Will Goss, Brian McDonough, and TJ Smith, so we don't have many left here, but it's getting slimmer and slimmer here. So Brandon Moore's 178 miles per hour across the line here. He might be in danger because he's got to beat that lap time of Kyle Keats here of 49.166, 180 into turn number 1. Holding his speed there off the corner here. Let's see if Morris can gain some time here off of turn 2. 181 miles per hour here off the corner that time around. He's going to get a good amount of speed on the backstretch here. Probably get to 183 max here if he can get to it. No, he can actually, so 182 into turn number 3 here. Brandon Morris still on the gas here, trying to fight for that grip there, trying to get that engine to outperform itself here. Off of turn number 4 there, Morris gaining a bit of speed there, scrubbing a bit off of turn 4, and here he comes across the line. Will he be able to beat Kyle Keith? No, he will not. That'll be a 49.259. So that will be right in between Jacob Edson and Chase Dunbar. So Brandon Morris will not make the show, but Shade Eaves is still their only hope in terms of the Team NSDCA department. Eric Monaco is now on the racetrack here, now entering the number 9 car for Fitzwater Australia Racing here, finally getting that 4th car in line here in the Hogs Cafe Toyota Camry here. So Fitzwater Australia Racing, again, I'm going to reiterate this sooner or later, 4 cars here. We're going to see how they do here. New livery on this 9 car here, so Eric Monaco now clocking in some laps here, getting now to 171 miles per hour, 172, a bit faster than his teammates here, 173 miles per hour there. So definitely, I don't think that car is going to make the show, folks, here, but Monaco's still going to try and give it his all here, 174 into turn number 1 here, the 9 car, trying to really hold his ground, trying to find that grip, but you can just tell how miserable that car is speed-wise compared to all the other competitors on the racetrack here. So Eric Monaco just now trying to just get in more lap times here. I think they're just really getting ready for the next race of the season here. So Eric Monaco still trying to get some data for their program here. Eric Monaco again in a go or go home situation here, so he's one of the fewer go or go home people left here. We only have, I believe, Will Goss, 3 more people left, so pretty much from there on, they're going to be clinched in from those high up in the ratings. So a 50.828, that is better than, well, Caitlin Murphy and better than Peter Onjack. So it looks like all 4 Fitz 1 Australia racing cars are going to be running together lap time wise here, but Monaco just ahead of Peter Onjack, but still not enough to make it to the show. Bradley Bishop Jr. is up next here for the Allen family racing team in the 44 Mopar Dodge. He's already looking really quick off the bat here, so Bradley Bishop Jr. could actually get a lap in, a really good lap here. So let's see what this 44 car can do. Bradley Bishop Jr. has had an up and down career, to say the least here. Has been in every ride possible you could think of here, as Bishop Jr. now going to cross the line here to get his warm-up lap, 179 miles per hour here to 180 here. So let's see how much speed he can get into turn 1 with that horsepower. 181 there, so not as quick as the others here. So Bradley Bishop Jr. now hugging the apron there, trying to hug that yellow line. The Mopar Dodge still looking pretty quick here with that motor. So off of turn number 2 here, Bishop Jr. 183 miles per hour. It might go to 184 right there, so definitely not as quick as the others here, but even so, a great lap time for this 44 car so far. It really looks like they're going to have a good lap time here, I would say around the top 10 area. So Bradley Bishop Jr. here, rounding turn number 4 here, 184 miles per hour here. Actually might be slower than a top 10 lap here, so let's see what Bishop Jr. clocks in. 48.817, so not a good lap at all for Bradley Bishop Jr. here. He is actually going to be pretty deep in the grid here, so that is going to put him way down underneath Kev Shearer here, actually. So that's going to put him 25th quickest. So rough lap for Bradley Bishop Jr. here. Here comes Goss the boss here, Will Goss, a rookie coming into the series here. Him and Joey Murphy joining full frontal, full time this season here. Goss now in the Delta Airlines machine here, trying to make his debut here at Daytona. He's also a go homer here, but we'll focus on that situation here once he crosses the line here, or at least after, once he gets his time lap in here. So 177 miles per hour here, might try and gain more speed this time around, 178 this time. So looks like he might have a bit of a promising lap here, 179, 180. And here he comes into turn 1 there, almost getting to 181. He actually does for a bit there, and it needles back to 180. So Will Goss kind of in that range again. A lot of drivers kind of in the 180, 181 range in turns 1 and 2 in terms of the midfield battle and the back half. So Will Goss now going to 182 miles per hour here, 183 miles per hour down the corner there, and here he comes into turn number 3 here. Will Goss taking his time here throughout 3 and 4, going 182, 183. It's kind of needling back and forth here. And here he comes rounding turn number 4 here. Will Goss still hard on the gas here, 100% full throttle, and down to the tri-oval. Will Goss is going to get a 49.082, so that is actually that's a very good lap actually. So that's going to be ahead of James Silverfox. So Will Goss is in the show so far. Actually, I believe that actually would lock him into the show. So let's look at that real quick here. I'll get an update to you shortly, but a 49.082 for Will Goss. So in terms of the go or go homers that are locked in, Chris Dodd, Eric De Max, Vance Conwell, Jay Jefferson, William Brock, Cody Llamas, Nathan Ormond, Aiden Shepard, and Will Goss are locked in the show here. So James Silverfox, Shade Eaves, and Joey Murphy are on the bubble here. So we might have to keep an eye out on those, but Bobo Jones is now up to the pallet here. He is not in a go-home situation, so they don't really have to worry about him. 178 miles per hour to start his time lap here. So Bobo Jones looking to try and find something speed-wise in this 81 car here, now joining the Red Stallion organization here. Bobo Jones looking to try and make his debut here at Daytona, which he will anyway because of owner's points, but the 81 car now dragging himself to the backstretch here, 182 miles per hour here, 183 sooner or later if he can get there, and there's the engine kicking in there, so 183 miles per hour down the backstretch. Into turn number 3 here, Bobo Jones in that car here. Quite a unique car. If you're a Tom Bodine fan, you might like this one, but the Kingdom car off of turn number 4 there. Bobo Jones is going to try and clock in his lap time here, 183. Down the tri-oval here, and it's going to be a 49.119. So that is going to be just behind James Silverfox here. So Bobo Jones is going to actually start pretty deep in the field here. So he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to make himself up towards the front. Next up to step to the plate here is Diego Yepes in the number 03 Order of the Arrows Ford Mustang here. He's looking to try and find some success here with his team of Diego Yepes Incorporated, also an owner driver as well. We have a lot of these in the series here, but Diego Yepes already locked into the show based on owner's points as well. He actually bought some because of the rule states that if you buy owner's points from a defunct team, and with the consent of the owner, you will be able to get yourself locked in, and those are based off the top 30 criteria. So Diego Yepes trying to clock in a good lap time here, or at least a decent lap time to get himself forward for the race here. 181, 180 in the corner here. The car definitely not as fast, but Diego Yepes has been an asset to NSDCA in terms of his speed and his ownership in that universe. So Diego Yepes now going 182 miles per hour here, 183. So definitely quicker than Brandon Morris's team here, looks like, or at least better than the 5 car here. And into turn number 3, the 03 car. Now hugging that yellow, dotted yellow line there, trying to hug it at least, and really just more or less following that grip, that gray area on the racetrack there. 183 miles per hour there. And he's going to cross the line here shortly, and here he comes to cross the line, and it's going to be a 49.067. So that is actually a pretty solid lap time there. That is ahead of Phil Parker, so that puts him 31st quickest here on the charts. Bobo Jones, though, I mentioned him, he's 34th, but that will drop him down to 35th. Will Goss is now dropped to 33rd as a result. We are getting close to the conclusion of qualifying here. TJ Smith is up to bat here in the 06 Vodafone car for the McDonough Racing Team here. So TJ Smith, new sponsorship here, really nice livery to say the least. We have a lot of nice liveries in the series here as the 06 car is going around turn number 4 here, already having a decent amount of speed here in this 06 car here, 176. 177, don't know, might be enough here. He's in a go home situation here, so he's definitely got to pick up the pace here. So 178 miles per hour, reaching now, trying to get to 180 maybe to turn 1 here. Definitely not a good lap time so far here, but if you're wondering about the situation here, Joey Murphy is on the bubble here in terms of getting bumped out. TJ Smith, 180 miles per hour off of turn 2 here. He's looking to try and increase that speed more with that Dodge motor, and Smith certainly trying to do so to the best of his ability there. Into turn number 3 goes the 06 car here. This Vodafone machine looking like a snack at the moment. 182, 181 in 3 and 4 there. The Vodafone machine rounding off that final corner there, smoothly making his way to the front stretch here. And here he comes to the tri-oval. Let's see what this 06 car can get. Joey Murphy, let's see here, actually 49.323. Joey Murphy had a 49.162, so will not be enough for TJ Smith to make it to the show here, so he will go home today as well. So a tough break for TJ Smith. Coben Black is now next on our list here in the Huawei Ford Mustang here for Council Racing. Council Racing now moving to the Ford branch here. A lot of Ford Mustangs in this field here. Coben Black is locked in, so the 51 team does not have to worry about speed too much. They just have to worry about keeping their car in one piece. Coben Black is actually a friend of the Demax family here. Recently got a call up from Castle Racing and has taken the seat since then. So a new livery on the 51 car, new face, and a new manufacturer for that team as a whole here. So also obtaining some of the titanium motorsports equipment. So they're looking to try and improve speed-wise and maybe be mid-pack contenders here as well. So Coben Black, 180 miles per hour in the corner there, 181 off. So they don't look the best on speed-wise, but again, they're locked in. So again, that's going to be the bigger picture is the results here. So 183 down the backstretch here. And here he comes into turn number 3 here yet again. Coven Black trying to hug that yellow line to his advantage there, getting a bit closer that time around, following that groove, to say the least there. And off of turn number 4 there, Coven Black, 183 miles per hour there, might go to 184 if he's lucky, and he's going to cross the line there with a 49.082. I believe it's actually tied with somebody. That is tied with Will Goss, so... But dude, Will Goss running up for, based on owner's points though, Coven Black will have the 33rd spot over Will Goss. Here is Patrick Zyke. He's had quite a story here, but he's in the Solvay Ford Mustang for Achilles Autosport here. His owner, Chase Dunbar, has not been as lucky though, because he is not able to make the show, but Patrick Zyke is locked into the show based on owner's points that they obtained. So the 00 car really just taking their time. Patrick Zyke is a rookie as well as Chase Dunbar, but again, it's a learning process for the team here. But Patrick Zyke, again, just trying to get a good lap time here, 177 miles per hour there in the Ford Mustang. Not too shabby, but not as good as all the other cars that we've seen so far today. Patrick Zyke now entering turn 179 miles per hour, a bit slower than all the other teams as I mentioned, so it's going to be a pretty low lap time for the 00 car, but even so, they're locked into the show nonetheless. So Patrick Zyke is just pretty much just trying to mind his P's and Q's here and understand the track to his liking here so that they can figure it out in the race, because that is going to be very important for this team here. So Patrick Zyke entering into turn 381 miles per hour into the corner there. And rounding off turn number 4 there, Patrick Zyke down the front stretch there, keeping that car straight, and he's going to take that slight left to the tri-oval. Patrick Zyke's going to cross the line there with a 49.529. So that's pretty far down, but again, he's locked into the show. That is underneath Daniel Bouchard's lap time here, so not the best lap time, but even so, he's locked in. We're getting closer and closer to the conclusion of qualifying, as I mentioned earlier here, and Brian McDonough is up to bat here in the number 07 Tag Heuer Dodge Challenger. Or really, yes, the Dodge Challenger here. So, he's really just an owner driver as well. Had TJ Smith try and qualify earlier, but had no success really trying to get into the show here. Brian McDonough trying to be one of those few drivers to actually make it into the show here on speed, 177 miles per hour to conclude his warm-up lap here. So let's see what he has in store here. Getting closer and closer this time around. Brian McDonough, 180, trying to teeter around that area there. Not able to really get much off that corner there. And down the backstretch here, 181 miles per hour across the line here, or really getting close to the line here, 182. Down the backstretch here, not looking as fast as those other people in terms of the go home session here, so it's going to be all up to him if he can make it to the show here, but otherwise Joey Murphy could pretty much be in a safe spot nonetheless here. As here comes the number 07 across the tri-oval here, and it's going to cross the line here, and it's going to be a 49.353, so that is not going to be good enough. Brian McDonough will not make the show here for Daytona. Jeff James has had quite a career in both the Sony Cup Series and the Hardee's National Series, but more or less in the Sony Cup side of things here. Jeff James has been a driver to look out for throughout the ages and throughout the years here. Had a great 2017 campaign, but just was short of the championship there, and pretty much then left the Martin Motorsports camp that year, or after that year, and went to make his own team of Jeff James Incorporated, but things didn't really turn out the right way for him. The team had to shut down, and basically Jeff James was not in a ride for quite a while there, and was attempting the Daytona 500 with Tommy Roberts Racing here, but he's currently running full-time with EMP here for this year, so he's got a good opportunity to really rebuild and restructure his career to his liking here. 180 miles per hour off the corner there, so not looking as quick here, and it looks like Kyle Buschellia's lap might be set in stone here. That might have clinched his time already, so Kyle Buschellia not really having to worry here. Jeff James now going 182 miles per hour into turn number 3, trying to get to that yellow line there. 181, the car kind of pushing up the racetrack there. And off of turn number 4 here, Jeff James still going a bit faster here. 182 miles per hour through the tri-oval he's going to go. And it's going to be a 49.317. So Jeff James is pretty far down that grid there. So a really deep starting position for Jeff James here today. So, but nonetheless, he is locked in the show. But even so, this is not the best qualifying run for him. So he's going to do a lot of digging if he wants to get up to the front as well. With Daytona qualifying coming to a conclusion here, Kyle Buschellia was the one right on top here with the Turner Performance entry on the pole here for tomorrow's race. Hannah Allen on his outside here. Benjako third. Corey Williams will start 4th. Chris Dodd will start in the 5th position. Sean Angel 6th. J.J. Roberts, the rookie, in 7th. Ross Jackson, another rookie, 8th. Eric Demax 9th. And Paul Jackson will start out your top 10 here for Daytona here. As always here, be sure to tune in tomorrow for some Hardee's National Series action here at Daytona. We're going to have a lot of racing and maybe even a lot of wrecking to really boost the crowd and fan morale.